I'm back this week, and we are bringing you our spring bucket list.
And talking about how spring has a specific smell. Welcome back to another episode of Long Island Tea, where we spill the tea on living your best Long Island life. I'm Kristen.
And I'm Sharon. Welcome back.
Thank you. Well, I come back literally because I just got back from beautiful Savannah, Georgia.
Can't wait to hear all about it.
Yeah, I want to tell you all about it. But before I do, I got to ask you, Sharon, how you doing?
How you doing?
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
It's been a week.
Yeah.
And
Typical.
Yeah. Let me tell you, this is the place. This is the tea.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So stay tuned is all I'm going to say.
Yes.
For our hot teas, because there's going to be some tea.
Yeah.
But for now, I will tell you that I'm doing well. Thanks
That's
to
funny.
you.
I heard on the radio today somebody asking how they were doing, and somebody's like, swell. And I was like, oh, what a good word.
Are you watching Severance?
No.
I love Severance. Are you watching Severance, Michael? Ugh.
I watched the first 2 seasons. I haven't gotten into this season.
No, this is only the second season.
Oh. I watch.
Oh, you're like Paula Abdul right now.
Yeah, I
you're
know.
like the second song. Do you remember that when she was on American Idol?
Yes.
And they're like, he only sang one song.
Yeah.
Yellow
Michael?
Jackets, though. Are you watching Yellow
No,
Jackets?
I'm not watching Yellow Jackets.
Well, it's a heavy show. So,
yeah, I don't want to watch heavy. I don't think.
Crazy is all I'll say.
So we'll talk about the 2 shows I'm watching now. Severance is good, but it's interesting. You know, I love the concept because it's about severing. Everyone's talking about work-life balance, and they have people in the show, and they've chosen for whatever reason to put a chip in their brain that severs them between their work when they go to work. They don't know anything about their outside life, and when they get in the elevator, they change, and they don't know anything about their inside life. They're outie and they're innie, and so it's a great concept, but. For a lot of reasons, people start to, unravel or whatever. And there's chaos ensues. And just so much stuff's happening with this guy. And somebody says, how are you? And he goes, I'm so good. and
How much do you want to answer that? Like,
I did that the whole
so
conference.
good.
People were like, how are you? I'm like, I'm so good.
I love that.
I'm so good.
You know what I love about Severance? It's directed by Ben Stiller.
I know.
And I think that is so wild.
It is. And I love the show because it's interesting. I'm still a little torn on, it's very artsy, and I kind of watched it and I'm like, I still don't get some of it.
Right.
But I love that scene. Because it's just so sarcastic.
Yeah.
I'm so good.
I'm so good.
But I went to Savannah and I can't even believe I'm like in a daze right now because of this week. Obviously, what's going on. But also because I started on Sunday. I mean, I left at 6 a.m. on Sunday.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And had a full day. Like you land and you have full meetings, events, the whole thing.
Right.
So it's disorienting.
Yeah.
And you're in a hotel, which has I didn't hardly leave the hotel, which made me happy. But it's just disorienting because I came back and I'm always like, what day is it?
Yeah.
It feels like it should have been Friday yesterday. So it's just, but it was a lot because it's so busy, but it was great. It was great to see all my colleagues.
Yeah.
I'm on the board of Destinations International, as you know, which is a great honor of mine. And I was just telling Michael about it when he's in here. It's really great for me as a professional and as a leader of this organization because you get so much insight to what's happening with your peers around the country.
Right.
And there are a few places where you have that quote unquote safe space. And at our board meetings, we always say this is the safe space. No one talks. You can say anything you want in there about what's going on with you or your organization or how you need help with something or, what you want the organization to help with in the industry. And A, nobody judges you, and B, nobody shares it.
Yeah, that's great.
Which is really important because these days, everything, it's hard to know who to trust. Right?
Exactly.
Which is like, don't trust anyone, obviously. But there, it was really good. So it's just, it's been a crazy year, obviously, for so many organizations and people, and there's been a lot of transition. And it was really, really comforting to know that we're not alone.
Yeah. Yeah.
That everyone's going through it and we're not alone, and to have such wonderful peers. And people that I like really respect and look up to and have my whole career, to be having them as a sounding board is really awesome.
Yeah, that's amazing. I do love this industry. We talk about it all the time. It's like, it's so incredible. Everybody is just so really heartwarming and welcoming, and it's true.
Supportive.
Yeah.
Everyone says hi to you, by the way.
Oh, hey.
Hi to Sharon.
Hi.
Say hi to Sharon. Love your podcast. People stop me. I still listen. I'm like, you still listen? That's awesome.
Yeah, I love that.
I was like, I'm really glad because it's a lot of work. And Shelly was in here last week when you were out.
I know. I wanted to.
Yeah, you wanted to
spill some tea on
let's do it
for a minute.
Let's do it. But before you do, I'll just tell you that Shelly was like, wow, it's not as easy as it looks.
Yeah.
Doing that. And she was so wonderful in here, and we had a good time, but she had a newfound respect when she left.
Yeah. No, it is a lot of work. It's funny. The mailman came in today and he's like, I saw your podcast. And I'm like, that's funny. He's such a non-demographic that I think would, he's like, I showed up. I was like, hey, I know those girls.
That's
cute.
so cute.
It was cute. But my bone to pick was like, you're like, I love Sharon, but she's got young kids, so I can't relate anymore. And I was like,
yeah,
we relate on everything.
Well, we do. That's true. I mean, it's true because I've been there, done that. But it, like when Stacy was in here, you guys like really, you got the whole travel thing, spring travel. Yeah. I sent you guys that TikTok.
I saw that.
I thought of you because of your podcast, but you can't explain what it's like to be an empty nester, or what it's like to like, I know, but I was like, no, we really done everything. Obviously you get me, So have you ever been to Savannah?
No. And just following everybody's pictures and seeing the posts and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it looked gorgeous.
It was beautiful. And it's a great time of year to be there too.
Yeah. Was the weather like?
It was on and off. Okay. Yeah. I mean, it was mostly beautiful. Mm-hmm. We had like our first event was outdoors along the waterfront, and it was like so fun and just gorge.
Yeah.
But so my hotel, it's all in the water. And so my room looked at the water, this giant river, and there's like these giant cargo ships that go by.
Wow.
It's weird. It's almost like, how the Long Island version would be like the planes that go by with the signage.
Yep.
Because every time a cargo ship goes by, you just like stare at it.
Oh, that's funny.
You can't.
You got to read it.
You got to see what's on it.
Yeah.
You stare at it.
Yeah.
And it looks like we were all outside at our reception, and there was one huge one going by, and it had the tugboat with like spraying water, and the workers on it were dancing, like waving at us. But it was like, we're just watching it because it looks like it's going to hit the bridge. I mean, it's just
scary.
like inching.
Yeah.
Obviously they know
Right.
it's fine. But it was fascinating. And one day I was back in the room during a break doing some work, and I was actually on the phone with our board chairman, Mitch, and I'm talking to him, and I'm like, oh, there was like, are there sharks? Are there sharks in this river? I don't even know what river it is. I'm like, where am I?
So
I don't know
funny.
but it was dolphins, like 4 dolphins right outside. And it was crazy because this giant cargo ship comes by and like right at the dolphins, and then they all swim around it, and they're all leaping everywhere. I'm like, this is so cool.
That is amazing.
I took a picture of the ship and I sent it to the family group chat, and I'm like, here come your Shein orders. Here they
Finally.
are. And they're like, yay, happiness is on the
That's
way.
funny.
I'm like,
Oh my
but it's
God.
incredible because each one of those containers is an 18-wheeler.
Wow.
And there's like hundreds of them on each one of these ships. It's really fascinating to see the transportation of the shipping and the things that happen to make our daily lives that we don't know what happens.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
But anyway, Savannah was beautiful. We had some really good presentations. I haven't even told you about them yet.
Okay.
One of my favorite ones, and I took, I took copious notes.
Yes.
There were a lot of great presentations and content. And at the CEO Summit, it's more high level, which I love. Mm-hmm. But the Savannah Bananas president was there.
They're my favorite. I absolutely love them.
You would love him. Sharon, he was the president. He's a young guy. Mm-hmm. And he was wearing like a bright yellow t-shirt and like banana pants, like pants with like bananas all over him. And his message was so about what our message has always been. Because he talked about, and he was so high energy and he was so funny and fun. And he said, we got the keys to the stadium for baseball, and it was run down, and we were so excited to bring baseball back to Savannah. It'd been played here for 100 years. And he's like, and then we sold 4 tickets. And he was like, And people were like, oh, baseball's coming back. It's been here for 100 years. We're going to do minor league, whatever. And then he realized, the concept was, he's like, we can't do the same thing we've always done and that everybody else is doing and stand out. What's going to make us different?
Yeah.
And so they ended up being like a college D league, some kind of they're not minor league. There's some kind of weird college league team that gives them a lot more freedom. He's like, and we did a social media contest. Like, what should our name be?
Love it.
And they were like all these different names. And this little old lady was like, how about Savannah Bananas? And they're like, oh, we could do this. We could do that. And it just talks about how they evolved and evolved and evolved. And he's like, and they just have fun with it because they really care about the fans.
Yeah.
They care about delivering something great. But he said, one of the things I loved, he's like, so we said, we're going to be the Savannah Bananas. We love it. He's like, and we put it out there and people flipped. People were like, that's stupid and crazy and horrible and great and wonderful and wild and
my gosh, the mixed
ridiculous.
emotions.
And he's like, but the definition of being remarkable literally has the word remark in it. Are people remarking about you? And we do that all the time with this podcast, right? And with our content. It's different.
Right.
We don't try to do the standard operations.
Right.
And we don't always talk about things and people are like, you're not talking about the business model of this. We're talking about things that we want other people to talk about.
Right.
Because when they're talking about you, good or bad,
Yeah.
you're on the radar.
Yeah.
And then next thing you know, they sold out and it was great. And he was like, then we decided we're going to go on a world tour. We're going to take the Savannah Bananas on a world tour because we're so popular. Because he's like, it'd been season after season after season of selling out. So how do you grow?
Right. You grow.
He's like, we're going to go on. Yeah, he was cute. He's like, we're going to go on a world tour. And they're like, where are you going? He's like, we're going to go to Mobile, Alabama. And they're like, where else? He's like, that's it. That's our world tour. Yeah. He's like, we had the t-shirts and on the back it said Mobile.
That's funny.
But they just have such a good time with it and they care about their employees. And I took a ton of notes. They had some really fun, good ideas about like even HR.
Wow.
And making people feel special and valued in like simple, easy ways. And just, at the end of the day, it's about caring.
Yeah.
It's about delivering. It's about thinking about your fans, thinking about your customer.
Yep.
And he's like, you can't do everything for everyone, but if you're making one person smile, if you're making one person happy, that's one person that you're doing it for. And you can continue to, there's a different person tomorrow.
Yeah.
And a different person tomorrow.
Yeah. I love that.
It was great.
Did any of the players show up or was just the
No,
president?
it was just, it really was a presentation about
leadership and
and culture and thinking outside the box and taking risks.
I just wonder because DI does this a lot. Like they'll have
Mascots
performance,
or something.
performances and stuff. But I was wondering if they were there.
It was so great. And people just like standing ovation.
Yeah.
Loved him. It was really cool. And then the second day, right before I left, was a really completely different type of, there was all different types of content. And it was just kudos to Destinations International for that. But the second day was a good colleague of mine, Milton, who recently became the CEO of Visit the Palm Beaches in Florida.
Yes.
And there's a lot of synergies between obviously Long Island and the Palm Beaches.
Yes.
And so I was just, I know him. I've known him for many years.
Yeah.
He came from Puerto Rico. And I'm talking to him at the lobby lounge the night before. And he was like, we've got to do a collaboration between the two of us. I'm like, we do. Yeah. We should totally do some cool stuff. And then he got up there. And the name of his presentation was like leading through adversity and something. And he talks about the story of when he was riding high. He's like, you know what? I was on top of the world. I was head of Discover Puerto Rico. Everything was going great. Loved my job. And that's when, it's not going to stay like that forever. Just, he's like, when you're there, when you're peaking, you need to understand that's the top of the mountain. And he talks about how he got diagnosed with cancer.
He did this at my CDME.
Oh,
Like standing ovation, everybody was sobbing at the end.
Totally.
It was an incredible story.
I pretty much screenshotted every single one of his slides. Yep. And the basic reminder there is to cherish what's important in life.
Yes.
Prioritize your loved ones. Understand that life is a gift.
Yes.
And cherish it and live it to the fullest. And I was like, that was so perfect.
Yeah, it was perfect timing. I love
thought
that.
so. Anyway, kudos again. It was so fun. And then I had one more story to tell you. I feel like I'm talking the whole time.
No, go ahead. I want to take a sip of water.
Yeah, take your sip of water because you've got your weird dry cough. It's spring.
Yeah,
Everything's
what's
blooming.
happening.
Is that
It's
what
crazy.
it is?
Yes.
And it's sunny and it looks warm and beautiful
But it's freezing
and windy.
and windy. I can't with the wind. I can't. It's making me so angry.
Yeah.
Like legit.
Yeah,
Sets
just the
my-
wind.
Sets the tone.
Yeah. Because it hurts. Mm-hmm. Wind is not good.
No.
Nothing good happens in wind.
No.
So the last story I'll tell is I'm on the flight home and I get, upgraded. I'm sitting next to this guy in first class and it's a tiny little regional plane. Mm-hmm. Right. And he's hilarious. So he, when you get in first class, they offer you a drink before the plane takes, like while everybody else is boarding.
Yes.
And I was busy working. So I was like, no, I'm good with water. And he goes, and it was not that late. It was like 5, I guess. It's like 5:30. So he's like, I'll have a red wine. The flight attendant brings him this plastic cup filled
To the top.
to the brim. Mm-hmm. And you have to finish the drink before takeoff.
Oh.
Like when they offer you the drink
Yeah.
before that, they have to take it
Right.
during takeoff. And then they come back if you want something else. So that's why I was like, no, I'm good for I'm fine. But some people like love to take advantage of everything first
Yes,
class,
of
whatever.
course, yeah.
So I'm like, we immediately bonded because he's like, whoa. I'm like, that's a commitment. You've got some work to do in the next 10 minutes. And that's a lot of red wine.
Oh my
It
gosh.
was huge.
Did he finish it?
So he was getting, I was like, listen, the challenge is there. Accept it. Or I kept, because I was like typing on my laptop and I kept looking over it because he was like trying to bond with me. He's like, what is happening? So he did finish it. And then we take off and I was like, I will have some bubbles, something. So she brings me, it's a very beautiful, like stemless glass. And he was like, well, he's like, I wanted a nice glass. He goes, well, I'm like, I think you need a do-over.
Yeah, and try again.
You need a do-over. And he was like, you're like the bad devil on the show. I'm like, I'm just here to help. I'm just here to help. So he
That's so
gets
funny.
another glass of red wine.
Oh my gosh. In your glass though? Like,
And a beautiful glass,
Yeah.
a very nice glass. And he's like, it's so much better. And he's like, I can't believe I chugged that plastic glass. And anyway, we start talking and he says, whatever. He's going to New York City. He used to live there. He's there. I'm like, I hope you don't have, you just drank half a bottle of red wine. So I don't know what your evening plans are, but I'm concerned about you. Are you okay?
oh my gosh.
And he was like, and he's like, no, I lived in New York City and then I lived in Moscow and then I came back to New York and lived in Moscow again and came back. I'm like, listen, I think our conversation here is done. Say less.
Keep your mouth shut.
I was like, okay, that's my cue to not ask you any additional questions.
Yes.
I'm like, I'm not going to ask you what you did in Moscow. And he's like, business. I'm like, that's fine. Leave it there.
Yep.
It's good. So anyway, our flight attendant, who was amazing, the heavy poor lady, love her. She comes over and she's talking to us and he's like, Angela, and she's like, Angela. She's like, Carmela. I'm like, look, it's your fault. Do you see this
my
poor?
God,
You can't
that is
ask him to be
so
responsible.
funny.
I was like, this is on you, Carmela. Okay. We were just having the best time. And she's like, oh yeah, you can't guess my nationality. And then she's like, I speak fluent Russian, fluent Hebrew, whatever. So then they start talking to each
Russian?
other in Russian. And I'm like, I think we should land this plane. I no longer feel secure.
Oh my God.
2 people
Yeah.
that speak fluent Russian. It's not every day.
No.
And then they were going back and forth on the pronunciations of things. I was like, I'm out. Now, they were both really sweet and really
That's
nice.
awesome.
And it was actually, and I said, we're talking about travel. It's what I love about travel.
Yeah.
The way travel can bring people together from all different backgrounds, all walks of life. The flight attendant, me, and then there was this girl sitting across from us and like a little teeny tiny little girl and like a tube top and her midriff was showing and she was cute and everything. And she left. She was like on a walkabout on this tiny little small plane looking for the snack box. I'm like, let's get this girl a snack.
She's hungry.
She can have mine. But it was so fun,
Oh,
and
yeah.
our industry really is special.
It is.
And It really does bring people together, which I just had to tell you that story. Like, what are the odds that people start speaking Russian? I was like, anyway, I'm going to need more champagne
And
or
I'm
I'm
going to
going to
shut
need to
my
land a plane.
laptop.
Yeah, exactly. And I was like, no, they were really fun.
Funny.
Love
That's
New York.
good. I know. I love New York too.
Yeah.
I really do.
I know you do.
Yeah, it's home.
Are you telling yourself that? Or are you telling me that? Is that your mantra?
My mantra right now. Yeah, no, it was, we missed you around here. But I was eager to hear like the stories from DI because I know it's a great conference for you and everybody.
I think it's my favorite, the CEO Summit, because it's small.
Yes.
And you get to spend real time, real quality time, and you get to have real interesting, high level presentations and discussions about things that you can then come back and implement and execute in your organization to make your organization better.
Yeah, it's a great organization.
I know, I love it. Okay, so what do you want to talk about next? Do you want to talk about what's happening on Long Island?
On Long Island?
Yeah, because we have some cool stuff.
Stargazing on Long Island. Starlight, star bright. There's no need to wish for breathtaking. I'm sorry.
You're done. No, we don't need to read it. There's amazing places to do stargazing on Long Island. So I'm going to be in a podcast next week, the Innovators podcast, and they're going to ask me my favorite beach.
Yes.
And in case you're wondering, my favorite beach on Long Island, I've said it before, I'll say it again,
Cupsog Beach County Park. It offers panoramic and unobstructed views of the stars.
Beautiful. I love it. It's got a great concession stand. The beach is incredible. It's not too far. I love West Hampton. Beach community. It is so amazing. And it's in the Hamptons, in case you didn't know. It's in West Hampton. So Montauk
Lighthouse.
Where else is a better place to look at stars other than the end?
Yes. That you're like literally at the end. You're overlooking the ocean. It is open sky. It's so dark and beautiful. Like it's
the waves are crashing
like mystic,
against the rocks. Yeah.
It's like mysterious, not mystic.
Yeah, just be careful because that's also right next to Camp Hero, which Stranger Things was based off of.
Yeah,
so
did you see that they had a Stranger Things Broadway?
I heard about that.
And I think it's ending already.
Oh, man.
Yeah, it's quick. Another place is Orient Beach State Park. Again, same thing. Like you're at the other end. It's beautiful. And then there's Gardner's Bay and Suffolk County Vanderbilt Museum and their planetarium. You can see like
you don't have to go outside. If it's windy and cold, you just go to the planetarium at the Vanderbilt Museum.
It's amazing.
Which is awesome, by the way. So that's a great thing to do. And then I was looking at Michael's spring bucket list that he put together. For some reason, I thought this was the blog, but Michael's just putting together his own content, which I love, which is, of course, Shelly and I talked about it last week, the Tulip Festival at Water Drinker Farm.
Yes.
I need to go do that. When does that, is it on right now, Michael? It's going on right now?
I think it starts the first week in April and then it goes.
I think that is an April thing.
Yeah, but it's so incredible. You've done it with the dogs, right?
Yeah, I've done it a couple of years with the dogs.
With the dogs.
And but now they have that brewery that you and I went to.
Yeah, the Long Island Farm Brewery is awesome. And I just love that family out there.
Me too.
Like they're such incredible hard workers.
So the tulip fields generally are at peak around April 21st for people that are planning, but you can add it to your bucket list for the spring.
Yeah, highly recommend.
Yes. You can also walk the Planting Fields Arboretum.
And I like to take a spring hike in New York State parks or Suffolk County parks. There's a million of them. We actually just recently moved the parks information onto our homepage of discoverlongisland.com.
Because there's so many hiking trails. And
this is the time to get out and about.
Absolutely.
And people don't realize how many parks that there are to explore right in our own backyard.
Yes.
So go out and check it out.
And then I love the Babylon Kite Festival. That's on April 26th at Overlook Beach.
And we're going to be there.
Yeah,
Discover Long Island's going to be there for the first time. And we've been there covering it on social before, but now we're going to have Lily, our mobile visitor center there. We're going to be handing out travel information and inspiration guides. I'm very excited. We're going to be there with, I think we have a kite.
We're trying.
Oh, we're trying.
I don't know if we got it yet.
It's not easy getting a kite. Okay. All right.
But I'm excited for that.
Okay.
And then Adventureland just opened for the season and they have 2 new rides and they're doing phases of construction opening.
Oh, okay.
So it's really cool. And then you can sip locally made wines at a Long Island wine country. So spring is here.
It's here. It is. Just fear not. It's windy. It's supposed to be like 75 this summer.
Really?
This summer, this weekend. And then it gets a little chilly again. But we'll focus on this weekend. Saturday's supposed to be like a banner day.
Yes, I'm excited.
Yes, we need it.
I need it.
I know. So make sure you check out our TikTok, which is Long Island, New York. Or we also have Discover Long Island, and we have the Long Island Tea podcast.
Yes.
Which our Jones Beach thing went viral.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah. Michael, can you read the stats that you put on here? Because Michael's been like, Michael tracks all of our successes because somebody's got to. You and I are like, we roll in here like, what are we saying?
Yeah.
The Long Island Tea podcast in 2024, we had over 2 million views on TikTok alone.
Whoa.
450,000 views on YouTube.
It's crazy.
And now we have a total of we have hot teas listening in a total of 93 countries.
My goodness.
And not 90. And yeah, our TikTok of the Jones Beach lineup has already amassed like 75,000 views, over 1,000 new followers just from that one video alone.
That's
Oh, wow.
amazing. I love
And see, that's what I'm
that.
saying. When we talk about things that are fun, and by the way, a lot of people are on there like, I don't like this band, and
Yeah.
who it is, not in the seat here. People, but they're remarking,
Yes.
and
Because
that's what makes you remarkable,
We're remarkable.
right? and that's how you get 1,000 new followers.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Is because you're saying something that people want to chime in on, good or bad.
Yeah.
That's
exactly.
People, this is how it works. We're not just saying stuff for our benefit, okay? We're here to do a job, and the job is to tell people about Long Island. Mm-hmm. In order to do that, we have to get them to follow us and listen. And to do that, you have to say stuff that is relevant.
Yes. Yes.
It's like a little bouncing ball.
Yes.
Connect the dots.
You can watch. Yeah,
I know.
Exactly.
Okay, so do you have any? We've got a little bit. There's been a bunch of movies filmed on Long Island. It's filmed in part on Long Island. This You series.
Oh, did you watch it?
No, I don't even know what it is.
It's wild.
Did you watch it?
No, I never watched it, but I mean, it's with Penn Badgley,
Yeah, and he's like a stalker.
stalker.
Oh,
You've never seen You?
I read the book. I read the first
That's
book.
surprising.
what's it on?
Netflix.
Netflix. Yeah.
Oh,
It's interesting. But yeah, that was filmed here. And it brings $50 million to the New York economy by having that filmed on Long Island.
but the other two things I wrote down, a little reheat from several episodes ago, and I feel like there's been a lot of job cuts and layoffs and all these things happening.
It's a scary world out there.
But even more scary is that Sesame Street laid off 200 employees. I told you guys. I told you. Even Sesame Street's going down.
That's crazy.
If we can't fight for Sesame Street, what can we fight for?
Right?
I'm saying nothing.
No, I agree.
If we can't fight for Elmo and Big Bird and the Grouch, and especially the Cookie Monster,
That's terrible.
what? I just feel like they need to sell merchandise. They need to do something where we can support them.
Yeah. They should have like a GoFundMe
We need a
page.
rally call. Yes.
Start a
Who's not going to
GoFundMe.
GoFundMe
Right?
Cookie Monster?
Right.
I don't know. I had to tell you that, which was crazy. And then one thing that we haven't talked about, because I think it was, I don't know if it was the last week and you weren't here or something, but I had it in my notes that, it's 5 years ago that everything shut down during COVID.
Yeah.
And when we, out of necessity created this podcast,
Right.
And a lot of our storytelling content. And it's just crazy that was 5 years ago.
I know. It's crazy to me that people still, are very still cautious, which is fine. But like, it's just crazy to me that was 5 years ago and that nothing else has come up, come out of it.
You know what? To me, I've been thinking about it a lot, and I'm like, there's interesting things that it's amazing to me during that time when they said there'll be a vaccine in a year. Remember, we shut down. It was supposed to be 2 weeks, and then 2 weeks came and went, and then a month came, and then they were like, okay, we'll get back to normal in a year. And I remember thinking, like, a year? What? What are you supposed to do for a year? So ours was what? April, May, June. Ours was like 3.5 months, I think, before we at least left our homes and started to come back to work.
Right.
But no, it's true. Like normalcy wasn't really returned until a year. And then even 2021 was weird. But I remember, and I'm hoping that this can be a message of hope,
Okay.
because I remember a lot of people, especially in the tourism industry, but in everything, thinking it's never going to be the same.
Mm-hmm.
The world is never going to be the same. Everyone's going to wear masks all the time. Everyone's going to be doing this. It's going to be, you think it's never going to go back to normal.
Right.
And it went back to normal like pretty quick.
Yeah. Yeah, it did.
It's so much though that it went back to normal and people like kind of took for granted that it even happened.
Right.
It's like no one cares anymore. And now, then you get, the pendulum always swings. So if you're feeling hopeless or stressed or frustrated or whatever, just remember this too shall pass.
Yes.
Why do I feel like you're not?
Because,
You're not feeling that. You're in the eye of the storm.
I'm in the eye of the storm.
Yeah.
And I just think that I'm a very positive person at all. I try. I wore my good vibe shirt today.
I know. I noticed.
For reasons. I am feeling very much lately like I'm reading through the lines of things. And, it's hard. It's hard to explain. I can't. I can find the positivity. I know that, but I can't see. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm having a hard time.
Well, I think a lot of people are, Sharon.
Yeah.
You know, I think that's, again, going from being in Savannah with all my peers, we're not alone.
Right.
And that's why I think like getting outside, going on a hike, that's why we hope to give you tips and tools because it's important. We talked, remember when we first came back we talked a lot about mental health. And then we kind of forgot because everybody just went back to their normal lives.
Right.
But it's mental health time again.
Yeah.
Just to remind you.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think it's important. Like, make sure you're doing these things and living life and having a good time.
Yeah.
And focusing on what matters and enjoying the beauty that is all around you. And luckily, we live in such a beautiful place.
Yes. And the weather is getting better and better. Like you said, it's going to be nice. That's like a big thing. And it's just, you go outside, go hiking, go down to the beach. Like my sanctuary is the beach. Like we know this
I know
about
you're
me. I'm a beach girl. And it's just like, get out and do it. Go find, stroll along our parks or.
Yeah, get outside, touch grass, breathe air.
That's a good, I love
touch
it.
Grass, breathe air. But honestly, even on my drive-in today, it's the flowers are blooming. Just look around and just appreciate life.
Yeah.
It is important because you never know what tomorrow brings. But it's just important to appreciate life. So I just, we got through that time together and rebuilt stronger than ever.
Exactly.
Just remember that it can happen.
Yeah.
You can rebuild. Okay. So, with that said, speaking of things that like celebrity stuff that happened on Long Island, I was going to call you. Did you see that Selena Gomez and Benny Blanco were in your town?
Yes, that was my childhood record store. Like that's where I went and bought all my CDs and records
remember
and
Pete,
things like
Mr.
that.
Babylon?
Yeah.
That came in, and this was 100 years ago, so you'd have to be a real long height. But he talked about this. You guys went on forever.
Yeah. So funny enough, like one of my brother's best friends was like the general manager of that store for many years. So I would go there and just hang out with him, just at whatever. But yeah, Looney Tunes, they were at Looney Tunes. I saw that. They were saying hi to all the fans, which was awesome. And they like literally gave Long Island a huge shout out. They're like, this is the best record store.
It is. It's cool.
This is the best place. Long Island is amazing. Did you hear that Billy Joel the HBO is releasing a documentary?
I saw something about that
I can't
today.
wait.
Yeah, me too.
It's going to have like home videos and things like that and interviews with him.
I love it.
I know,
I want to
I'm so
hear
excited.
it because Billy Joel's he's a cool cat.
Yeah.
He's been through it.
Yeah.
He's just a wise man.
Yes.
And so I look forward to hearing what he has to say. Whereas on the flip side, not to disparage anyone, obviously, but I've only seen clips of being a Baldwin.
Okay. What do you think?
Well, I've only seen the TikTok clips, and so it could be out of context, skewed. But I'm like, I don't know if that was the best move. Michael's just laughing.
He talks about it, right?
I don't know. It's mostly Hillary or Hilaria. I don't know how to say it.
I think it's hilarious, but you're right. Because didn't we talk about that? How
Is
to
it
pronounce?
Hilaria or Hilaria?
I don't know.
Hilaria.
Oh, okay,
Hilaria.
thank you, Michael. We want to be
Hilaria.
respectful and say the name right. Hilaria. She's so beautiful.
She's beautiful.
I mean, she's got like a zillion kids.
I was just going to say, and staying that beautiful after a zillion kids.
She's gorge, and she's been doing a lot of PR and stuff. But I don't know. I mean, listen, I haven't seen it,
Right.
but I'm just telling you, it seems like it's not being as well received as they would hope. Sometimes when you put yourself out there, that's the risk.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
But I think Billy Joel's gonna be just fine.
Yeah.
He's awesome.
He's fine.
Icon.
Are you watching White Lotus?
Yes.
Did you watch this last
No,
episode?
because I
Okay.
was traveling.
It's rough.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was rough. And it was funny. I was texting one of our colleagues that night, and I was like, I'm just going to zone out and watch White Lotus. And she's like, maybe tonight's not the night to watch that. Just because it was.
Is it the finale?
No, it was just a very, very intense episode. Very intense.
Yeah. Yeah. I've been loving it because it's been building up
Yeah.
to that.
Just a lot of weird things. And it's just
Are you
weird.
watching White Lotus? Oh my God. It's so good, right?
It is so good.
It makes me crazy.
It's just a lot. Yeah.
Like, how would you describe it? Like, other than intense? Like, it's just the first
lot.
scene is just a lot.
Oh my God. I'm
Yeah.
gonna go
I
home
feel
and
like
watch.
the last one was kind of filler,
Yes.
Yeah,
but they made up.
Oh my God.
it's crazy.
So maybe just wait until the next one drops and then just watch them together.
Yeah, because it'll like ease it. Maybe I think.
Yeah.
Also, I just started watching Adolescent.
Oh, that's also intense, right?
Very. It's British, right?
Oh, I don't know. It's on my list.
I think there's 4 episodes. I watched like 1.5 so far. I feel like, you know how like British TV does, they have a different way of filming and different way of like producing things. And I feel like there's like a lot of emphasis put on things that there's no reason. Like you could have sped that episode up a lot, you know? But I think because they want to drag it out to 4 episodes, it's interesting because it's about a 13-year-old boy who, you know, was never like suspected to be one of these kids. And he winds up being charged for murder.
Yeah. Committing a crime. Yeah. Or at least being charged for it. Yeah.
And then it's like the investigation and things like that. So I don't know. It's interesting. I almost like, it's a lot of controversy on it all over social media. Not controversy, but a lot of talk about it. Like how now after watching that, what would you say to your kids? And, you know, like, so do you watch it with your kid, you know? And like,
it doesn't seem like it. You should.
well, they said it's like, it's rated 15 plus for a reason because there's a lot of emotional things that if you have a 12-year-old or a 13-year-old, they're not developed that. They don't have that development yet to understand that concept, you know? So I don't know. It's very, it's
I feel
weird.
like we need to get you something. You know, I just finished The Bachelor season. This is what I've been watching since I got back. It took me 3 nights to finish it because I was so tired. I kept falling asleep. And Bachelor in Paradise is coming out, which is it's way more fun than The Bachelor. And for the first time ever, it was so funny. They made the big announcement at the finale that they're putting Golden Bachelor people on Bachelor in Paradise. Oh, God. And Thomas goes, oh my God. And he goes, I would totally watch that. And I'm like, yeah, exactly.
You would.
So, and they came out, Dan, they were a hot mess.
I love it.
Older people. And I was like, no, this is what we need in our lives.
Yeah,
I feel like you need a little mind numbing.
Yes.
Bachelor in Paradise.
Yeah.
Let's put the intense content away for a while.
I'm watching Survivor.
Okay.
Too. That was a really great episode last night. It was all over the news. One of the character, right?
Yeah.
Actor?
One of the, whatever.
Contestants. Thank you. Has autism.
Okay.
And it's the first time that it was like announced to the whole tribe last night. And she had an episode, and one of the other tribe members got her through it. And it made Jeff Probst cry, like on live TV. And it was just such an incredible moment to see and watch, you know, how everybody, you know, came together to help her.
That's
It was
heartwarming.
amazing. Yeah.
That's some heartwarming content.
Yeah.
Okay, good. You know, the other thing that's on is The Amazing Race.
I've been watching
It's a
that
new
too.
season. Do you watch The Amazing Race? Michael, you would love it. It's all about travel. And there are a couple of different LGBT couples on there.
Yeah.
That's what I love about it is it's a very diverse group. You've got like an older married couple and the single sisters and these guys that met in the military and these people, and they all go on this incredible event, and it's
amazing,
and everything always levels out. And did you make the flight? Did you this? I love this show.
I love it too, and I actually just started watching it because I think we need to do it. I really do. I really do.
Sharon, I've said this. I've said it before. I will say it again. America would love you. Okay? America would love you. America would hate me. And you know it's true. You're laughing because you know it's true.
No, I think we would win
you
this.
And Stacey, we might win. We might win.
Yeah.
But in intense situations, my intensity goes and my through the roof, and my patience hits the ground floor. And I'm telling you right now, America would not love it.
You know
it would
what?
not be good for
you know
my
what
brand.
annoys me is like, why do they choose like who's going to do the competition on the moment, like right then and there? Like I did 3 already. I'm like, yeah, because you're the competitor. You're the one that's really good at it. So go do it.
Yeah.
I would make you do all the competitions.
Yeah, I'd be like, no, Sharon, I did 3
like the
already.
activities.
I'd be like, I did 3. Get your ass up there. No, but that would be. Let's ask the hot teas.
Yeah.
Should Sharon and I go on The Amazing Race?
Listen, Wheel of Fortune is out the window. It's not happening.
Why?
I don't know. They don't call me. Ryan, call me.
Maybe because you talked about how you weren't vibing with him anymore.
True,
You probably shouldn't go on and badmouth the host, Sharon.
I know.
Don't you not love Phil on Amazing Race? I love him.
I love Phil. And I love, what's that other show? Anyway, it'll come to me.
Okay. Anyway, there's some good TV. Watch some heartwarming TV. Like I said, I think if I finished The Bachelor, I'm ready for Bachelor in Paradise. I wanted to see if you're watching White Lotus. It makes me insane when I go to the conference and nobody's watching White Lotus. And I'm like,
especially in our industry,
It's-
like that's what it's about.
I said, you guys, it's about our industry
This
and how
man.
it brings all these people together and like all these different, intense, but these stories.
Yeah.
Like how do you call yourself? You're a fake fan.
Right, exactly. But there was a huge article the other day too about White Lotus and how it increased tourism to
Yes.
Thailand. You know, what's happening?
Most of the articles have been about the female relationship, the 3 women. Have you seen that? It's been in Vogue. It's been glamour.
I think it's hilarious.
They're like, it's a real depiction of how females are and women are. And they're like, and the lesson is, don't ever go on a girl's getaway with three women.
You need 4.
You need 4. 3 is
2.
not good.
Yeah.
It's like I have 2 sisters. So having 3,
Yeah.
you're always talking about her. What did she do this?
Yeah.
Anyway,
It's
it's
true.
human nature. So let's end on a positive note with some fun things happening in April. I can't believe we're already talking about Easter.
I know. It's crazy.
I was driving
is
today
so
and
crazy.
one of my neighbors had little eggs hanging from all their trees.
Yeah.
Which reminds me, I got to flip my porch this weekend.
Yes.
For spring.
Yes, spring has sprung. I love it. On Saturday, April 5th, there's an Easter bunny egg hunt and Easter fun at the White Post Farms.
So cute. And that's in Melville, right? Michael?
Yes.
That is amazing destination. And this is the time of year.
Yes.
Just go there.
And like speaking of spring, Jimmy Buffett, Escape, Margaritaville at CM Performing Arts Center. I really want tickets to this, so I got to call our friends over there because
Yeah, they'll
gonna
get
be
you
fun.
tickets.
Yeah.
They love you.
I love them.
I know. So speaking of spring though, and like the Easter bunny and stuff, my yard is the last 3 days has been getting mulched.
Oh, okay.
So for those of you, because now that we're listened to in 93 different countries,
Mm-hmm.
for those of you who don't know, spring is the time because we don't do that in Arizona.
Right.
I didn't know what mulch was.
Right.
Never heard of it.
Yeah. Well, you probably have rocks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we have to do like winter grass
Yeah. Okay.
and summer grass. You reseed your lawn. But anyway, mulch is this, and it makes your yard look so much nicer. It's this black stuff and it's like fertilizer.
Yes.
And you know what fertilizer is made of?
Yeah.
And you know what it smells like?
Yes.
So while your yard looks beautiful, it smells like you've got a pasture of cows.
Yes. Enjoy the 75-degree weather this Saturday with your windows open.
Yeah, just in time to open your windows for the aggressive birds,
Yes,
by the way. Here they come. There was a woodpecker. There was a
Starting.
woodpecker on my second floor. I had to like open the window and yell at it. I'm like, get your woodpecking nose off of my white wood. You're poking a hole right there. I see you. Like fighting
Back
with the
it
birds.
up. That's
You open your
crazy.
windows just in time for that wonderful waft.
Yes. There's some sort of like mulch plant thing on the Saginaw Coast Parkway. Do you know what I'm talking about? Every time I get on it at 5:00 in the middle of rush hour with my windows open and stuck in dead traffic, it's like smoking. It smells like mulch so bad. It's great.
Spring has sprung.
Yes.
I know, but I was thinking, I was like, here we go. And then we'll end with what's happening on Sunday, April 6th.
April 6th, Simon and Garfunkel, our old friends, presentation at Long Island Music and Entertainment Hall of Fame. That's so exciting.
Yeah, lots of fun stuff to do. We really, the best place to find out what to do this weekend, because it's updated every single day, hour by hour pretty much, is on our social channels, 11 social channels, discoverlongisland.com, on our blogs. But follow us on TikTok, Instagram, Pinterest, Facebook, Meta, all the things.
We are there. We're everywhere.
YouTube.
And Blue Sky.
And Blue Sky. Yeah, that's the new Threads.
Oh, okay.
Right?
The new Twitter.
The new, right.
Okay.
Right. And YouTube. Go check out our new Belong videos on YouTube. We haven't really touched on. Let's talk more about that next week, Michael. But until next week, get out, touch grass, smell the beautiful mulch in the air, and we'll see you next week.
See you next week.
The Long Island Tea Podcast is brought to you by Discover Long Island, thanks to our generous sponsor, Sands New York. Visit sandsnewyork.com for more information. For exclusive access to contests and promotions, follow Long Island Tea Podcast on Instagram, Facebook, and X. And for questions, comments, and collaborative inquiries, email spillthetea@discoverlongisland.com.